Everybody, Russ here. I am going to be kicking off a brand new segment to the Joygasm channel, which is the unboxing playlist. And I thought, what better way to be able to kick off a new playlist than to actually show off the JND 1/3 scale statue of Heath Ledger Joker from Batman The Dark Knight. And as you can see, it's quite a doozy. The box is so big, actually, couldn't even fit it within the frame with the lens I have going on here, but that's okay. I have not actually looked in the box yet. I have just taken it out of its outer box, which I used purple scissors because I thought, it'd be appropriate to use said purple colored scissors, considering it's the Joker. So without further ado, let's get into it. Just like I said, disclaimer, I have not seen anything yet. I have not looked beyond this box, which is a very nice, it's almost a pinkish purple color, but the box itself has this nice, like, subtle iridescent pearlescence sheen to it. I don't know if the camera necessarily picks it up or not, but very, very cool. So I'm going to take the headphones off, put some plastic gloves on, and let's take a look at this sucker. Well, I got him out of the box here, as you can see, and I'm impressed. Very impressed. I'm still in the process of taking it all in, but my goodness, the presentation is just really well done. When I look at, actually, let me adjust the lighting here too, because I feel like since he's a lot closer to the lights in the studio, we gotta make sure we make kind of proper exposure for his face, give him a little more of a menacing look there. Give a little uplight action as well. I'm using kind of a purple hue at the moment. Let me see if I can change this over to more of a just standard white color. There you go. Much better. You can see like what a difference it makes with having the glass eyes. I could make this even brighter and see how that turns out there. There you go. You can see a little bit more. So much of this has to do with the placement of your lights as well as just what kind of lights you're using. Give yourself a little more of that dramatic, cinematic lighting there. And I can tell you with certainty, seeing it in person is a completely different experience than looking at it through photos or video. When you're looking at it in person, and it very much is Heath Ledger as the Joker. Now, I haven't had a chance to futz with the hair. At this point, I'm still waiting on a pedestal with an enclosure on it, like an acrylic closure, just because I don't want any dust or any kind of bad stuff to get on the statue. But I did want to be able to like just take a glance at everything, make sure everything was good to go. And I'm very satisfied. Even without futzing the hair yet, I'm looking at the detail that the hair has, and it does make a substantial difference seeing that as opposed to sculpted hair. So much character in that expression. Going back to more of like a purple. Here, like, there you go. You want to know how I got these scars? My father was a drunkard and a fiend. And it just really brings that out. When I first heard about JND Studios, one of their slogans was that they're detail oriented, which, you know, was a nice marketing slogan. And at the same time, there's a lot to live up to if you're going to have a slogan like that. And this being my first JND statue, I can authenticate that it very much is detail oriented for sure. I haven't had a chance to look at all of the garments yet. I just happen to see some like by happenstance, like his socks down here, some of the inner jacket fabrics. So I'm gonna have to do like a proper once over, if you will. One of the things I did notice is that this arm that holds the machine gun, it is a bit loose. I don't know if that's by design or not, but I found that kind of for some reason, like around the shoulder area, it just wasn't as tight. So I made sure I just was really gentle with that arm. But the hands and the magnets found their placing. They locked into place, so no problem there. The stance is really iconic, I gotta say. You know, looking at this was one of the most iconic scenes in the entire movie of The Dark Knight. And I'm really glad that they were able to kind of capture the body language that was in that particular scene. If I had one critique, it would just be that during that scene, he was pretty intense himself. He was almost grimacing. In fact, he was grimacing when he was saying, "Hit me," and you saw his teeth. I think if he had teeth, like his trademark yellow stained, gross looking teeth, just in that "hit me" kind of phrase, or what he was screaming, that would probably be the icing on the cake. But honestly, it's not like the statue is bad without it. Whatever, it's merely like the only kind of nitpick critique I can give is like, what would take it to one more notch above where it's at right now would be to have the teeth. But there's so much detail within the clothing, the hair, the skin texture, and the paint application. And I got to say, once again, I know I mentioned this earlier, but looking at it in person, the paint application is really well done. Like the cameras are not adequately covering or representing like what's there. There's just a lot of subtlety and depth within the skin mixed with the makeup. His side profile looks awesome. By looking at his front as well, I mean, like it's really him. I mean, you look at the portrait just front on, and granted, right now, like I don't have enough lights to like light it up properly, but you get like the general idea based on what we have. I just thought of another fun idea too. Is if I were to turn off the key light for just a moment, let's see what he would look like. Just a sec. There we go. Oh yeah, there's a little more mood lighting for you right there. If I grab my handy dandy portable light here. Yeah. Yeah, I'm telling you. With the right kind of lighting, I mean, it looks like a still out of the movie. Yeah, that just looks outstanding. Ooh, that looks spooky, doesn't it? Ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight? I always ask that of all my prey. I know, that's Jack Nicholson, but couldn't help myself. Ooh, look at that. I always ask that of all my prey. I just like the sound of it. Or better yet, more appropriate for this particular rendition of the Joker, I believe that whatever doesn't kill you makes you stranger. I could do this for hours, just trying to play around with the different lighting and color and seeing what works best. Ooh, look at that. It's so creepy. Wouldn't want to run into him in an alley like that. Just for fun. How about a little green? A little green, shall we? Oh. A little sickening green. Right in there is pretty nice. I must say, though, I think I prefer the blue or the purple. Green might be good as like a secondary rim light or something like that, but even something like that might be kind of nice. But I think I'm digging more of like the blue and the purple. Cutting back over here. He does look way more ominous that way, doesn't he? What if I were to risk a little bit of the light? Maybe turn it down just a bit more, but just enough so we can appreciate him. Like I said, my key light is actually pretty close to where his head is, so therefore that's why his head looks a little more blown out in this particular angle with this lighting and setup and whatnot. But if I make it dark enough so that the head is properly exposed, then you start to lose the detail down here around his feet. So anyway, I'm just going to stand up and admire him from all angles. So I'll look at him with you. How about that? Inspect him, you know. Well, the verdict is in, folks. I am extremely happy with this purchase. This is definitely going to be a conversation starter when friends and family come over. There is just so much that is here that is properly represented, and there's a certain level of quality and sophistication that's just, it's exciting to see within the statue collecting scene. And I know that the Heath Ledger Joker in particular is actually really competitive, I would say, over the past year or two. You have different companies like Queen Studios, Prime One Studios, Infinity Studio, and even JND Studios. They all ended up kind of coming out with their own renditions of the Heath Ledger Joker around the same time. And all of them have their merits. I haven't seen all of them in person, so I'm not going to comment on the other Joker statues because that just wouldn't be fair. But there has been a lot of spirited debate on the statue forums about which one really is the best. And without actually seeing the other ones, what I can say is that, I mean, I have what I was hoping for with a Heath Ledger Joker. You know, when I take a look at all the detail and how close that actually looks like Heath Ledger in the face. I get such a kick out of how many statues actually look better in person. I know I've said that multiple times already, but it's so funny to me how you'll look at a picture of a statue or you look at a video of a statue and you'll get a certain amount of representation there. But then when you see it in person, there's a lot there that you just don't see. So I'm definitely really pleased with this purchase. I look forward to seeing what else JND comes out with. If I had to give it a score, and again, this being my first JND piece, I've never collected a JND piece before, but just what is standing before me here, I would probably give this a 9 out of 10. Yeah, outstanding work. I want to thank you guys for joining me. And as I go about creating this playlist, make sure you check back from time to time because I'll be adding more unboxing videos to the Joygasm channel, in which case we can all partake in geeking out over some of our favorite pop culture characters and movie characters, all that fun stuff. So we'll see you next time.